students, let us today continue with kingdom classification, the fourth class, that is kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae are different from the monograms or protists and fungi because they are multicellular. All plants are multicellular. That is, their body is made up of more than one cell. The nutrition is autotrophic because they have green pigment called chlorophyll, and with this chlorophyll and sunlight, carbon dioxide and water, it makes its own food. All plants are attached to or anchored to the soil, and for this the roots help them to anchor to the soil. Now, plants may start from simple non-flowering like algae and mosses to the big plants like mango and neem, etc. Now, the main classification of Plantae are non-flowering, and the second one, broad category, is flowering plants. Now, non-flowering plants have no flowers, no seeds. Whereas the flowering plants will have flowers, seeds, the flowers will turn into fruits, etc. We will go to this first. The non-flowering plants are divided into three categories. They are mosses, then first is algae, then is mosses and liverworts. Some examples, and ferns. Now, if you go to the first one, algae, they have simple body. The body is not divided into parts like roots, stems and leaves. They are aquatic. This body without a proper root, stem and leaves is called thallus. Thallus. The body is not differentiated into proper roots, stem and leaves. So, there are no roots, no stem, no leaves. So, there is no conducting of water and food taking place. Now, coming to the next group, that is mosses and liverworts. They too have a thallus, simple body. They also do not have proper roots, stem and leaves. They are above the ground like a green carpet. Sometimes you feel in damp places like around the wall of the well or some places where there is water, swimming pool, etc. There is always a damp covering, green color velvet carpet thing. Now, they are attached to the soil by thin thread-like structures instead of roots. These are little highly modified than the algae. They don't have roots at all. These have thread-like structures called rhizoids. These rhizoids are just thin thread-like structures which will help the plant to attach to the soil. Now, coming to ferns. Ferns are little more advanced than the algae and liverworts and mosses. They have a proper plant-like body where they are small. They are terrestrial, mostly distinct root-like structures, stem and leaves they have. They have simple conducting tissues, not exactly xylem and phloem, but they have simple conducting tissues for food and water. Their leaves are called fronds. These are little leaves are called fronds. They are leaflets, and at the back of each leaflet there are porous brown spots which are spores. So all these germinate by spores. Now here in mosses and liverworts, the rhizoids are particular, we can see them, but other parts like stem and leaves are just appendages like structures. They are not distinct root, stem, leaves which will have branches and all. Now coming to the next group, that is flowering plants. All flowering plants will have flowers and seeds. Some flowers may turn into fruits, but not all. Now they have complex tissues for conduction of water and food, like phloem and xylem. Now all flowering plants may be again broadly classified into cone-bearing plants and flower-bearing plants. Cone-bearing plants, instead of flowers on a tree, they will have cones, and the seeds are on the outer side of the cone. There are male and female cones. The seeds are exposed. We can see the seeds with our naked eye. They are like woody structures, the cones, like petals. These structures, and here there are seeds. No fruit formation takes place in cone-bearing flowers. When the cones fall down, the seeds are exposed to the favorable conditions, and again they will germinate into a new plant. Now these are evergreen, always evergreen plants, mostly in cold areas, fir, spruce, etc. Evergreen plant means they never shed their leaves totally in the season. So they are tall trees like cypress, pine, fir, etc. They shed their leaves, only some leaves, not all the leaves. So they are evergreen. Now on the other hand, we have flower-bearing plants. So there will be flowers which will turn into fruits. Not in all cases. In the rose or hibiscus, the flowers remain as flowers. After season, they will wither away. New flowers will be born in the next season. Some flowering plants will turn into fruits like mango. All the vegetables and fruits which we eat, they come from flowering plants. So they bear flowers, they bear fruits, they bear seeds. Seeds are two types. One is dry, and sometimes it is fleshy. Dry almonds, etc. All nuts come under this category, and tomatoes, all pulpy vegetables and fruits like brinjal, tomatoes, all vegetables and fruits which are fleshy, they belong to this category. Now, most flower-bearing plants are deciduous. They shed their leaves in one season and seasonally shed their leaves. This is the largest group in plant kingdom. Flowering plants is the largest group in the plant kingdom. They will start from herbs like tulsi to the biggest trees, banyan or mango. All trees belong to flowering plants. Now coming to the next. Based on the structural differences, there are two types based on these flowering plants. Based on the structural differences, there is seed-bearing plants. They should have seeds. Based on the structure of the seed, they are divided into two types. One is monocotyledonous, or also they are called monocots, and the second one is dicotyledonous. Or dicots. This structural difference is about the seeds. If the seed is just one, it has one seed leaf like rice or wheat, maize. Based on the structural differences, the flowering plants can be divided into two categories. That is based on the cotyledons or seed leaves. When there is one cotyledon or one seed leaf, like for example rice or wheat, maize, they are called monocotyledonous. Or monocots. The other category is dicotyledonous. Or dicots. They have two seed leaves or two cotyledons. Example: pea, groundnut, all the dals, pulses, legumes will belong to this category. The seed can be divided into two equal parts, or two cotyledons or two seed leaves. Now, what about coconut? Which category it will be belonging to? The part what we eat inside the coconut, this part what we eat inside the coconut is the endosperm inside the seed. So you cannot divide it into two equal halves. So it is a monocot. What about mango? Mango, if you take a raw mango and cut it into two equal parts, the seed can be equally divided into two equal parts. So mango is a dicot. There are many other examples which you can classify based on the seed leaves. Now the next is kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia will be done in the next chapter. Just briefly I will tell you, they are all eukaryotes. Because they all have a well-defined nucleus. They are all multicellular. Their body is made up of many cells, more than one cell. Then all of them are heterotrophs because they cannot make their own food. They always depend on others for food. Either they eat plants or plant products or flesh of the animals. So there is a wide range of animals which we will be doing in the next class. Vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates and invertebrates are based on the presence of backbone or absence of backbone. So this will be studied in the next chapter in the next class. Till then, please do all the exercises that are of this belonging to this lesson and go through the book and complete all the exercises given at the back of the lesson. Thank you.